It's on a rare occasion that these reboots of 80s classics are ever in the slightest of being decent. We had one a couple months ago and yeah, I definitely needed a vacation after that one. Okay, so Vacation. Vacation follows the story of family man Rusty Griswold, who has a pretty steady job as an airline pilot, making good money to help support his family. He also feels like his family isn't getting the bonding time he feels they deserve until he comes up with the ideas like, hey, I'm gonna take them on a vacation I took as a kid. And that was his family back in the 80s who all took a cross-country road trip to Wally World, so that's what Rusty is gonna do for his family. And with the family on the road to Wally World, one pit stop after another happens to the Griswolds as they try to make it to the amusement park and at the same time bond as a family. Now this Vacation is a reboot of the 1983 classic Vacation with Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. It's probably considered one of the greatest road trip movies ever made. I watched the original one not too far back and it still makes me laugh in horrible ways how Chevy Chase kind of killed that dog while he was still attached to it. Yeah, that part was horrible and I'm probably an evil person because I laughed at the dog dying. But this Vacation, although it wasn't as good as the original, it still holds up as its own movie. What I like about it is how self-aware this movie can be, because at times it makes the attempt of breaking the fourth wall. There's a scene in the beginning where one of Rusty's kids was like, I never even heard of the original Vacation, and Rusty was like, it doesn't matter. This new Vacation will be new, updated, and will hold up on its own. Whether it's in the dialogue or the events that happen in the movie, it makes it very clear that the team was like, hey, we know that we are a Vacation reboot. We aren't trying to break any ground here in the comedy world, we just want to make people laugh. And I ended up really digging the comedy in this Vacation reboot. I had such a good time with it. Ed Helms is the leading man in this movie, and his character kind of reminded me of the character that he used to play in the Hangover movies. Just this easygoing, smiling persona was brought to Rusty Griswold, but added an element of a family man in there. I thought he did a really good job leading this movie. His comedic timing was good, and let's say, if they continue with these Vacation movies, they should definitely bring him back. Christina Applegate plays his wife in the movie, and she kind of has that same vibe that Beverly D'Angelo had in the original. She plays the normal suburban wife who, just like Ed Helms, has good comedic timing as well, and part of that shows on how good their chemistry was. They acted like any normal married couple would. They joked around a lot, they had a few fights here and there. I believed them as a couple. Chris Hemsworth, all of 5 minutes he was in it, he was awesome in this movie. You can tell he had extreme fun with his role, showing off his six-pack and shit. And you got their kids in the movie, which I thought stole the entire show, and a lot of that came from the younger brother. The younger brother was always picking on the older brother because of how feminine he was. He said he has a vagina, just beating the shit out of him. It was kind of funny how it switched from the older brother picking on the younger brother to the younger brother picking on the older brother, because it shows that the writers were just like, we're not gonna follow this generic formula. Because yeah, it's easy to make a movie that follows your typical everyday family, but overall, this is a movie that is a parody of the white suburban family, or just families in general. It doesn't have to be white, and most of the comedy really worked in this movie. Like the material in there, it gave off the same vibe as the original Vacation. Sure, they make pit stops here and there, but what happens to the family just goes way beyond my expectations. And the trailer learned to save the funny parts for the actual movie. Thank you for that. But that can also be a negative in the movie, because sometimes what they do just totally stops their journey to Wally World. They mention at times where they're just like, oh, I just want to make it to Wally World, but they go somewhere completely off course, making it harder on themselves to make it to Wally World. And I know that you can say, well, Ryan, that is the point. That's what brings the movie comedy. But when it gets to those parts, it just slows down and kind of gets boring. But thankfully, those boring parts don't last too long, because when you want it to pick up, that's when it knows to pick up and it gets entertaining again. Because in the end, Vacation succeeded as its own movie, and it may be my shortest review that I've given. Holy shit. Ed Helms, Christina Applegate had really good chemistry, and their kids were really funny as well. Some pit stops that they make work and some that don't, but overall, it creates a comedy that I hope that you'll enjoy. Because I say, if you want to see Vacation, see it at the matinee price at best. If you have the money to do it, go see Vacation. Oh, and after this movie, you'll start singing Kiss from a Rose by Seal at least a couple days straight. Thanks, Batman Forever and Vacation, for getting that dumb song in my head. So have you seen Vacation, and what did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below. And as always, there's a link for my Twitter and my Facebook below as well. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But in the meantime, I have to get going to go on vacation. Oh yeah, I wish.